Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with their host, Matt Marrero, along with their other host.
Yub.
And today...
Too much Ewok speak. I have to get back into English.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
It's Tristan.
The whole thing was an Ewok, actually, yeah. I have to be honest, right? So we're doing our first in a while Star Wars Wednesday show, our first ever Ewok Season 2 episode, our first and only, because we did Season 1. And I don't know how to say this. I really don't know how to put this. I think Season 2 was good, or at least better than what we got in Season 1. But I think I'll go with good. Now, there's an entire franchise of things that are so much better and essentially, if we had to compare, would wreck this. But for what it
Sorry.
Yes,
Sorry,
exactly.
bad call.
No, of course. For what it had to be, though, right? Like, the daily lives of Ewoks. They made Season 2 pretty enjoyable, and I'm very confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. The more it went on, the more I sat there and realized, wow, we really shat on this in the first one. And now the second one, it's like, this feels like a legit kid's cartoon. Like, if I was a child at the time that this came out, I would most likely enjoy this.
Yeah,
so I'm sorry for all those kids who grew up with Ewoks, if you did.
With season 1. Because the thing is, what I think, I don't know how, why it happened this way, but I just look at Season 1, and I don't think that most of the episodes were able to work with their 22-minute format. And it was a huge issue. It was such a huge issue because looking at those plots, they were so razor thin. I mean, just, they were as thin as dental floss.
Right.
So dragging them on, some of them were good. There were 2 of them that I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. But most of them were just dragged on, and then the 2-parters made me want to rip out my hair. It was horrifying. Other organs, the hair isn't an organ, but actual organs. I was like, this is just, I don't care. I really hate this. You know? It got me so hard, to hate it so much, I just came around to not caring. Right?
Right.
So, but with Season 2, even the ones, and I think it really was the 11-minute format, because some shows just work better 11 minutes. Some shows need to be 22 to 24. It's just that simple. Doesn't mean the show's worse because it's 11 minutes long. Heck, some of the Ewoks episodes were long for some reason.
Well, that's how they did it. They would split it into two 10-minute episodes, basically.
Yes, and again, that's fine. I'm saying some of them were 8, which is weird. But but splitting them in 10-minute episodes, it was perfect. And
there
then the
are
ones
plenty
that
of
were
cartoons
24,
that do that.
Yeah, and the ones
some of
that
them
were 22
an actual,
minutes,
full 22 minutes.
And some of those, not all, but some of those really benefited from being 22 minutes because those were the ones that were like, okay, no, this is the one where shit's going to go down.
Right.
And because of that, it was, having the Ice King, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, right? Or having the Death Star actually be a thing, and apparently that was the actual season finale. They aired it earlier, that's why it wasn't the last episode, but when the show was over, after those 2, the 2 other ones that I don't care about aired, then they re-aired the one with the Death Star, and that was considered the quote-unquote series finale.
Right.
Because, it's basically...
it's a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, Star Destroyer, sorry, my bad. They were trying to build the Death Star, my bad.
But
that's the point.
But they had
the point.
It was the Empire.
Mm-hmm. That was the Empire. Mm-hmm. No, because it's the Empire scouting. You know what we should do here? Right. That's basically what it was. So, and that's what's interesting.
You remember when I was, going through the episodes, and I just started texting you about it. I'm like, you hadn't gotten there yet, so I wasn't going to spoil it for you because you hate it when I do that, even if it's something that
stupid.
You shouldn't really care if I spoil it for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just freaking out because I'm like, oh God, it's the Empire. This is a little, this is early. We're not quite prepared for you guys yet. What are you doing here? But I loved the fact that it was, the mad scientist kind of dude that was like, no, this is really, really powerful stone, and I'm going to use it to make myself the Emperor. And it's like, yeah, you're fucking crazy. Oh, and by the way, you shot the Emperor's shuttle. It's like, what are you going to do to me? Oh, I'm not going to do anything to you. The Emperor is going to punish you personally. That gave me chills.
God.
Like, that was the scariest part of that entire show. When they brought him up that boarding ramp into that shuttle, I didn't even need to see Palpatine. I knew that guy was fucked.
I think the scariest part of the show for me were the where are they? The Tumble Bunnies. I think they were the scariest part.
Oh God.
They were the true House of Horrors.
Yeah, they get some crazy ass magic too. Like, oh, I can use this, machine to suck out children's bad dreams, and then if it falls over, the bad dreams go into your mind.
I loved that.
Excuse me?
I loved all the crazy shit. It was great.
Yeah.
Like, I was, again, looking at season 1, it just felt like very stagnant other than like a few. Because I have to admit, there were a few. But most of the time it was just like, oh, God, I want to get through this. And now it's kind of like, I'm seeing some of Paul Dini's magic, which we've talked about him, I think, in the last episode. He's the head writer for this show. And the reason why he's very important is because later on in his career, basically after this shit, he did a lot of cool stuff in regards to the Batman animated series franchise.
Oh,
so
cool. Nice.
Yeah. No, yeah, like he helped create Harley Quinn and then brought her into the comics. He wrote a lot of different comic books as well. He was like, he's very much like, in the comic book world. So I know we didn't mention him too much last time because I think we were just too busy shitting on Ewoks. But here, it's just super interesting. It's just like, wow, like I can see why you do what you do, Yeah,
well, because, it started to feel like, what a children's cartoon should be kind of thing. It was like there was always a lesson for, to be conveyed through the episode, and, you had a problem and you learned, the right way to solve it, either through A, teamwork, B, friendship, C, patience, D, hard work, E, honesty, or F, all the above. And, it was, there was a little danger here and there. The kids would either pick on each other or do something stupid. Shit would happen, and then they'd be like, okay, time to do what's right and fix this. And then by the end of it, hey, everybody's happy and everybody's friends again,
Yeah, what's interesting is how some of the plots seem to be recycled, or how they seem to be picked up later. And I say later, I mean like later, not in Ewoks or in Star Wars. I mean like later on in animated children's shows. Like, even though I understand, and what I'm referring to specifically is the whole everything I touch dies, and I was like, Fairly Odd Parents.
Well, a lot of the plots were like, like I said, it's what a children's cartoon kind of feels like. They use the plots that you would expect to see in a cartoon for kids.
Yet
and
somehow
there's nothing wrong with that.
Ewoks.
People do that all the time.
And they weren't weird. That's what's interesting too. Like you could see, in my opinion, that was what was really weird about it, where I could see them being traveling salesmen, door-to-door salesmen, and not find it weird because of the things like that they were trying to sell, and because of the way it was a children's plot, and they were just like, we're going to go door-to-door. And I was really confused, though, because I was like, this is an episode of SpongeBob. I was really thrown off. I was like, what? It was. Because they kept on fucking
up. No, I know. I remember.
Anything. I was just sitting there. I'm like, when is it going to just be like, I love chocolate? I'm like, what's going on? We're on Endor.
I love Ewoks. Oh, God!
No.
Oh, God, what's happening to me?
Ewoks.
Oh, God!
That does not translate well.
Ewok steaks. Oh, God.
But, I was a huge fan of the villains. I think the only character design that I saw that I went, my God, I'm so sorry about your budget, were like the Ice King's minions.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Is your budget okay? Do you need some help?
Yeah.
I will send money.
I think
to the
I got
pack.
like a 5, maybe a 10, maybe.
I think that would mean a lot for 1980s. I think that would mean more than just inflation. I mean, please take the money. You need it. Like, just only them. Everything else, I was like, oh, this is cute. This is cool, whatever. Some of the lessons were really interesting. Were just like, always trust your horse. Or, don't be a dick to each other until the next episode. That was always a good one.
Yeah, that was one thing that still bothered me. But it's like, kids will be kids, boys will be boys, girls will be girls. I'm like, all right, it's a cartoon in the 80s. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
I mean, that shit still goes
stuff.
on today, don't get me wrong. But
Not, well, here's the thing, though. I think in children's cartoons today, they actually don't do that as much.
They're trying to make things not like that anymore.
No, and you can argue, if it's good or bad. That's your thing. But what I'm, you as in the fan, that's what you can say if you want to. But it's very interesting because you and I I know you don't watch a lot of new cartoons, and I don't either. All I watch is Steven Universe and Gravity Falls. So we'll see characters messing with each other, but not to the depths of just in my opinion, where it's just oh no, the plant's dead, and they're just well, at least you didn't kill all the other plants. Oops, I didn't mean it that way. And everyone's like, ha ha ha, oh man, she's a fucking plant killer.
Yeah, right.
It's intense where it's just it's just oh no, you failed that mission. Well, it's okay. No, not really. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of a little shit. Guys, fuck yourself. That's how the tone felt every single episode. They just shit on each other so hard. I was like, wow. I was like, one of you is going to kill the others. And honestly, when the goofball started to learn magic, I'm like, it's going to be him.
It's going to be him.
He's killing them all.
Oh, yeah, especially with the whole, the stupid, slang, lurdo. It was just you're calling him a nerd. I get it. You don't have to say it every damn episode, please.
Yeah, no, honestly, just me sitting back looking at, and also the fact that they included magic in terms of the dreams, I'm like, he's going to go Freddy Krueger on all of their asses, and when they wake up, he will be there to stab them with a
Well, I'm just
spear.
waiting, I'm just waiting it for, oh, God, it just turns into a whole terrible, who's the Lurdo now? And just, oh, God, I'm not even going to continue that, because it just gets darker and darker.
Your name says his real name? No, my name is Nerdo. Anyway, but yeah, it was a very interesting. Oh, by the way, I love the aristocracy. Apparently, there's a Leaf Queen. There's because when I first saw the Leaf Queen, I was like, man, acid is one hell of a drug. But then we see the Ice King. We see the Plant Sister. We see the Sun King. I love the Sun King so much. He was the most chill motherfucker. I
feel like they were all a season. Yeah,
no,
right, because there was 4 of them.
That's the
right.
That's the point.
Oh,
and that's what's beautiful about them.
I did it.
The show was intended for you, Tristan, just for you. Don't forget.
Shut up. I hate you.
Me too. I hate me too. But yeah, I really enjoyed them, coming up as the seasons, because again, that also introduces weird, other magical elements, where it's just oh, so apparently there's a hierarchy, right? There's there are kings or queens, if you will, and they can control the weather. What the fuck? Never would you have thought, watching Ewoks in the 6th Star Wars film, where you're just you know what? Yeah, totally. There's totally a kingdom, and random people just control the weather. It's what it is. It is.
What about the freaking Nightmare Fuel episode? Well, actually, there were 2 of those, but one was literal and the other was the one with the evil spirit that says, "Oh, we used to inhabit, Endor," and then which is stupid because it's not Endor. Endor is the planet that this moon revolves around. It's the forest moon of Endor that no one's given a goddamn proper name to, apparently, because it's not important enough. But anyway, my point was
okay.
the evil spirits that inhabited the moon before the Ewoks, and them and the Ewoks didn't get along, so they trapped them in an alternate dimension where everything is just death. And I'm like,
so
I'm going to use the Sunstone.
The Rach, right?
Yeah. Maybe it was that.
Or was that... The Rach was weird because I saw the name and I'm like, I don't know if we should be calling them the Reich.
Oh, God.
And they're like... I'm being completely honest. It's not even a joke.
Know.
Like, I was like, why the fuck? And it's sad, too, because the first thing I thought of was, like, the Reich. I'm like, oh, are we getting Vader? Like, I'm not even laughing. I'm like, we're getting the Empire. They're like, the Reich. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm spelling Reich wrong. But,
close enough. It's a kid's show. They're bound to spell it wrong. Daddy, what does Reich mean? Oh, God, no.
But
no more Ewoks for you, Timmy.
Daddy, what does Reich mean? Son, I told you, don't go into my closet.
Hello.
What? Well, I thought I'd have to give you this talk when you were old enough. Son, let's talk about neo-Nazis. No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sad. I wish it wasn't a thing. I actually really fucking wish it wasn't a thing. America's sad. Anyway, every place is sad. But yeah, no. So honestly, all jokes aside, though, Reich is actually spelled the way Rach was, and I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
So I wasn't wrong.
Okay, that's
I wasn't wrong.
Slight oversight.
Yeah. Like, just a fucking slight oversight. Little tiny one. But yeah, it really threw me off because I was like, why or what's going on? Oh, did you like the Indiana Jones episode?
Wait. Which, okay, what do you...
The Lost Temple, where they literally had like music talking about the temple and the jewel. It was the birthday. We're like, oh, we got to get something for my mom's birthday. And then they were like, oh, we can find the jewel. And then the fucking music is like, ba, ba, boop, boop, boop. Like, it's literally sounding like something out of fucking Indiana Jones.
In the Wacky Jones, I'm going to leave now.
Yeah, no. I was like, which one is Short Round? They're all tiny. I was like, which one?
Obviously, it's Tebow. Obviously.
Clearly. But
and
yeah,
then
no,
and the one that's the girl that's all like, oh, I want to be rich and famous. She's Willie, and then the other one is oh God, was it Meredith? No. Fuck, I always forget her name. I feel so bad.
Marion?
Too. Damn it, Marion. There we go. I knew it was an M.
Okay.
I'm terrible with names. But Marion, yeah, and the other Ewok that's training to be the next princess, she's Marion, because she's at least competent.
I just want one of them to be Indy's dad. I just want them to be Sean Connery. Listen, work.
Dungar.
Oh, by the way, I loved how it felt like they took characters from the film that we've also done podcasts on, and they just adapted them to be these animated characters that look nothing like their counterparts because they have to pay royalties.
Okay.
Do you know who I'm referring to or no? Like, okay. Well, the random king, the one that's green, in my opinion, that's based on the one that we saw in the film. We talked about that last podcast when we did Ewoks, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But the fucking...
I always think they're the race of Grinch people.
That's what they look like when animated, yes. But I'm talking about more so the random thing that's in the forest. It's just like, oh, you know, I never leave the forest. I'm just here, stranded. And I just sat there and I was like,
yeah, he's the
Wilford Brimley. No.
Oh,
Although he looks like it. Wilford Brimley from the movie, remember? That met up with the little girl and the
right. Yes, that guy that crashed
Wilford
there.
Brimley. Yeah. No, it's actually Wilford Brimley. Like the guy that did the whole diabetes. Like that's him. That's not. Yeah, that's true. Everyone, that's legit. There's no joke. This is a fact. This guy is.
I wonder if that's on his IMDb. Shut up.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Those are just letters. But what matters is that it looked like him. Not okay. The purple fuzzy thing did not look like Wilford Brimley, but I should clarify.
Close enough.
But but the way they brought in that random, the way they brought in that random, green Grinch figure that somewhat resembles the really cool-looking Power Rangers villain from the live-action movie, I'm like confused because I'm like, wait, so is this their way of trying to tie in this character, sort of, somewhat? Because I don't know if you know this, they can't just animate Wilford Brimley completely because they have to pay him royalties.
Right.
For the most likely. Right, in some way or another. You can't just, at least I know in live action form, you can't just. I mean, it's sad. I didn't even like your joke. I think it was stupid. Oh, don't even touch it. I'll do it. Fucking do it. I'll find clips when it looks like they're posing, and I'll make a fucking opening. Don't you fucking test me, you shit. You think I fucking won't? I'll have it on our YouTube channel, TG Productions, by the end of the week. So fucking test me.
You heard it here first, everybody.
A power and a job that you never seen before. No,
we're gonna get so much hate mail.
Can never keep them down, except the Empire. And but anyway, all right. Let's get back to what matters. This series and how it didn't turn into shit. Like, isn't it like you normally, right? Normally a show is supposed to start off really good and strong, even mediocre, and then season 2 you're like, and then season 2, you're like, oh man, that sucked.
How did this get a second season? It's like, it's one of those deals where they're like, yeah, all right, we'll sign you on for 2 seasons and see how it goes. And then by the second season, they're just like, we know we're not getting a third, so we're just going to drive this into the ground as hard as possible.
Yeah, I assume for season 2 they were just like, do whatever. I assume season 1 worked, and the reason why I assume it works is because kids and Star Wars.
Yeah, right.
And no internet.
Yes.
Kids, Star Wars, no internet. I assume the 3 combined were just like, fuck yeah. I mean, think about it, right? Not no internet, but little internet, right? Star Wars and new Star Wars movie made everyone sit back and go, dude, Episode 1's going to be great.
Yeah.
So you think about that one. Remember that, Tristan. Everyone was hyped for Episode 1. Everybody.
Oh, God.
Everybody. Yeah. And whatever you want to say about Episode 7, whatever you want to say about it, because we had the internet, we were able to get so inside of, even though they tried to keep a lot away from us, still, we were able to get very close to Episode 7, I would argue, in ways that we weren't able to with Episode 1, and obviously in 1985 we would not be able to with Ewoks. So I'm sure Season 1 did very well, because it aired on ABC, kids, Star Wars, and again, kids like Ewoks. At least from what I have heard, kids did enjoy Ewoks. It was just people that were our age watching at the time that were just like, nah.
Yeah, pretty much. But see, that's why I said earlier, earlier on, it's like if I was, a young kid watching this at the time that it had come out, I probably would have enjoyed it. But once you're out of that, that age range, it's like it becomes more and more difficult to be there and be like, no, for what it is, for what it's supposed to be, this is actually a good cartoon.
Yes. Also,
it's not,
because
I am not the intended audience for this cartoon.
No, definitely not.
Why,
definitely
Matt? Why?
I do think there was some humor, not for the parents, but definitely for. I don't think it was all intended for children. I don't think every little bit of it, but it's not in any way like Steven Universe or Gravity Falls, where they know, okay, we're making this as a family show, or even like let's say Doctor Who wants to go something live action. Doctor Who is a family show.
Maybe
right?
It might have been for the slightly older sibling who's not quite out of that age range, but is starting to. So yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think some of the scarier ones, I was like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty cool, and I feel like some kids would be watching this from behind the couch.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That was the thing. Some of the storyboards, the whole thing with the evil spirits from the other dimension, it's like, holy shit, some of these plots were actually really kind of intricate and very interesting. It's who's the guy who came up for the storyboard for this one? Can I hire him or her or anyone, or can I get some names, numbers? Come on.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm going to look for that one specifically, but if it was Paul Dini, I would not be surprised.
Right.
Let's see. Actually, that was the writer was Michael Reeves was the writer. Who are you, Michael? Michael?
That's
Michael. Michael, who are you? I mean, of course, I'm sure Genie worked on it as well, but Michael, who are you? He also worked on Batman the Animated Series and Disney's Gargoyles.
There you go.
Well,
yeah.
That fucking makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Anyone that's pretty fucking confused. Also, he's written many novels as well. But, he also worked on something called Darth, Maul, Shadowhunter, which is a novel set in the expanded universe.
Right.
He worked on Death Star, which is another novel in the expanded universe. He worked on Shadow Games and The Last Jedi. Let's see what else here. There's some more interesting. Yes, he worked on. I'm just naming some, hoping that you'd be like, I know that one.
Oh, wait,
Jedi
The Last
Twilight.
Jedi. I think I have that one.
That's what I was waiting for. He
Maybe.
worked on Death Star. Well, no, sorry, I already said that one. He worked on Jedi Twilight, Street of Shadows, Patterns of Force, MedStar 1. Yes, MedStar 1, MedStar 2. And,
I wonder what happened to the first MedStar.
I don't know.
Economic collapse?
I don't.
Hey! Anyway.
But anyway, he's a very interesting writer. It's okay. We all laughed on the inside.
I try.
And you succeed. But
don't need your
very okay. And just leave it there. All right. Well,
all right.
That's what that is. What it is. What are we gonna do? But yeah, I thought it was, and of course, if you like the battle for the Sunstar one, right? Paul Dini wrote that one.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's funny because Paul Dini was obviously writing the first one as well. So, first season, along with Bob Carew. But I feel like Carew, looking at his episodes, he wrote the ones that were more so like, hey, we're going on an adventure for like a random thing because something wacky's happening, where Dini looks to be the one that was like, hey, if there's fighting involved, I'm writing that one. Like he wrote the one Sunstar versus Shadowstone, which was the first in the first season where we had the witch fight with the lava.
Right.
That
was fucking intense. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he has written some more slice of life ones, but really, mostly, it looks like he's writing the ones that are a bit more action packed. I would argue. Very interesting. Oh, he wrote Asha, the one where it's just like, hey, you guys have a sister, right? So,
right.
Yeah, that was the season finale that we both looked at each other. We were like, that wasn't bad. If the whole show was bad, it would be good.
Right.
So I do think that, as much as we shit on the first season, there were some nice, some little highlights. But this season, I would say, is majority of highlights. Like this season, 70% good.
Yeah.
with 30% like, oh, okay. It's just
30%
okay.
of,
Nothing like,
old tropes.
Well, no, because I don't think the old tropes were bad, right? I just saying
No.
30% of, like, just us having to, like, 30% of stuff that you and I were like, I don't care. You know, or it's like, oh, no, the party. I don't give a shit. That's what I mean. Like, the pure, like, I don't give a shit meter. Where it's just like, what's going to happen with the party? I frankly don't give a fuck. That's what you was like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a fuck.
Frankly, my Ewok,
like,
I don't give a damn.
But don't say my Ewok. It sounds wrong. It sounds like when Donald Trump said my, and I'm not getting political here. I'm just saying it sounds like when Donald Trump was just like my African American. Like it just sounded like. God. That's what I'm saying. Like you saying my Ewok sounds like we have claim over them.
Okay. That
feels insensitive.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. You're scaring me, Matt.
Just don't talk about my Ewok like that. Don't say it like that.
Okay.
You know.
Would you rather
like,
my Wookiee?
Ewok.
Or is that worse?
That's actually worse. That's actually a lot fucking worse. And you want to know what's even worse? They can kill you.
Exactly.
Because like Ewoks can hurt you too, right? But like you might be able to shake them off. But Wookiees, Wookiee will just strangle you straight up, just murder you.
Well, it's funny because that one episode where Wicket's gone off and is fighting this giant bear thing, and I swear to God, I think it was episode 9, the Hanadak or whatever the hell it was, something like that.
Right, of course.
Big
that.
hairy kind of bear thing. I swear to you, the snarl that it made sounded exactly the same to the Snow Ghost in Scooby-Doo.
I wouldn't be surprised. All jokes aside, I mean, you know why? Like you laugh, and I'm
pretty sure Scooby-Doo came first. So I wonder if it's the same guy. Well, it could be the same hysterical guy. Always, because you have. I'm not saying this was like for Peter. No, who am I thinking of? Is it Frank Weller? I'm gonna check right now. I'm not saying it's Frank Weller, but Welker. But he did a lot of different voices. Like he did Scooby, and he did a bunch of different, like it was very. I'm looking at his stuff right now. He did a lot of different like animal voices and things like that, right? Yeah. But I'm not referring to him, though. Right. What I'm referring to is the idea that when someone, depending on the recording company and what you have access to files-wise. It's a lot very interesting, like what you can just bring out of nowhere. I mean, I think you and I have talked about this. We've watched Mega Man, like certain episodes of Mega Man, or certain clips of like the games or whatever it might be. And then we've seen Dragon Ball Z episodes. And depending on if it was Ocean dub or if it was the Funimation dub, whichever, you're hearing certain sound effects and you're like, wait a minute, I've heard that before. Yeah. Right. Like I believe, I don't know if it was between Ocean's dub of Dragon Ball Z or Funimation's dub of Dragon Ball Z, but when you hear like one of like them powering up, the ring, it sounds like Mega Man, like charging up his blast in earlier games, and that's because one of the companies, I think they dubbed over Mega Man at one point. Right. Oh God. So yeah, that's what and that's the point, right? Like you have access to different sound effects. So they're going to pop up, and you're going to be like, wait a minute. That sounds like this one and then this one. It happens in Japan, too, and it's really funny because you can just pick up, like in Dragon Ball Z, honestly, where you're just like, wait, I know that sound. That's not just a DBZ sound. That's a charging sound. Yeah. So and
so there's, what?
Speaking of sound effects, I have more.
Please. Go on.
Episode 12, when the elder of the tribe, not the magician, but the actual leader of the tribe, when he hog ties this pig thing, a wild Grunderg or something to that effect. It sounded exactly like the Gamorrean guards, the pig guards, if you remember from Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Palace, the Green Pigs. Sounds just like them. And then obviously the Empire episode, the last episode, the TIE fighters had the same sound effects. And the little pod, the space pod that they escaped in, and the mad scientist weirdo guy was using, used the sound effect for the Bespin speeders on, well, Cloud City. So, okay, I'm done.
Yes. No, it's okay. I can't just be the mega nerd all the time. This is why we need you.
I have notes now, Matt. You're in my domain! And it's with Ewoks. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
I loved that in episode 19, and I say 19 because Wikipedia splits them up. Like, each and every part was considered a different episode. So it's not like episode 2 had, part A and B. No, apparently they had, like, episodes, like 3 and 4 or something. I love that they threw out, like, a Cousin Oliver or a Poochie, basically the random new character that's just somewhat related to them, like a cousin, if you will. It's just kind of like, we're going to get, I'm going to get you in trouble. Hey, this one did that, this one did that. And then it's the story of, well, I guess we have to make sure that he goes missing.
Yeah.
No, but it was very interesting to see. And I think what's really interesting is looking at the standards and practices of the time, where nowadays, right, like, you can't say the word, even though it's a standard thing. Like, you can't say, like, I'm going to kill you, right? You can't say that.
Yeah.
But you have I can't remember her name, probably because I don't care as much, but you can't remember her name, but she was like, oh, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, oh. It's like, you don't just say that anymore.
Yeah.
Like kids' cartoons. Which I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever, right? Because, you're not going to have any blood, like,
No.
Yeah, but it was just, it was like, oh, my ears, because it came out of, I didn't expect it. Like, it was like, oh, I'm going to get you, but it was like, no, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
And to be fair, her life, she almost died. Once they were falling from the sky, I was like, so we're getting
You
killed.
fight Boo? No, I'm going to kill you.
No, because it was just like, it looked like we were going to have 2 impalings that episode, because before he got because it was like, oh no, she's frozen in carbonite. And I'm sorry, when they're like, freeze her, and I was like, carbonite? So she's frozen.
I wish.
She would be the character. It'd be like, I love you. She'd be like, I know. She would be. But so anyway, so she's frozen.
No, she'd be the one. It would be like Tebow going to her like, oh, I always loved you. It's like, word up, boom, and the thing is slammed over her. And she's just a carbonite.
She was but there's
I need that
she's
now.
like, oh no, she's frozen. She's frozen on that she's frozen on that ice stick. And so in my head, it's just like, when they're like, unfreeze her, I'm like, she's going to get impaled right now. On a fucking ice stick. She's going to get impaled, and then she just falls off gently. And I'm like, you weren't that frozen, were you?
Honestly, they'd probably all get along better if she wasn't around. But, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
you should not be writing season 3. You should not be. If they ever
no,
reboot
Matt,
this,
we've
do not
discussed
call
this.
Tristan
I
Walter.
have my own idea for my own Star Wars kids cartoon.
Apparently it's going to look a little bit like Lord of the fucking Flies. Jesus Christ. Just all the Ewoks stranded on an island. All the Ewok kids just fighting over dominance.
No, but it would be a different species, another beloved species of the Star Wars universe. Actually, I'm not going to name them. I'll just leave that to your worst nightmares.
What was it? No, it was what was it? It was living.
No,
with
don't
Gundam.
spoil it. Don't spoil it for them, Matt. It's going to come out in a few years, and no one will see it coming.
just Misa, didn't expect that. But oh my God. You mad yet, bro? Oh my God, that would be You know what I would have loved so much? If, like, he just came back to his planet, and he's just like, misa, yusa. They're like, why does he speak that way? Frankly, I don't understand it. Is that the slang with the new kids? All like the teenagers? Misa, yusa. So apparently it's just a difference in how he speaks. Well, all right then. Like, I would love it so much if just all the elders were just like, yusa. Well, you. Just how great would that have been?
I mean, technically they all speak like that in a sense, but I guess in that sense, Jar Jar just has the sillier voice, I suppose, if you want to think of it that way.
So everyone
anyway.
He's just like, so basically he's just like, so Misa like this. And it's like, yes, Yusa do like this. Haha.
I guess, yeah.
I just love the same tone, just more dignified.
Pretty much.
Oh, so be it. So I stopped caring. I don't know what else to talk about here. I love that there's an unlucky sprite. I think that's hilarious.
Oh, what?
That's the funniest thing to me. Was it not a sprite? It was an unlucky fairy or something. Remember? It was just like,
right.
Yeah, because it's just like, we have a lucky one. It's like, oh no, I'm an unlucky one. Oh, and I'm like, that's actually really funny.
It's like, why the hell would you ever why are you a thing? Like, why do you exist? And that's not really nice. No, I'm serious. Why the fuck do you exist? Who the hell would ever conjure you?
Anyone would, to hex somebody else.
Yeah.
It's to hex. It's not to...
Yeah, I love how they did that. It's like, Wicket won't be, he won't be so, at least he won't be mad about, the test anymore. And it's like, all I could hear was the next line was like, yeah, he's just going to fucking kill me because I'm the dumbass who commented on him.
My God. Just the phrase, oh, well, at least, yeah, he's going to fucking kill me.
He's going to fucking kill me. Thanks a lot.
Oh, my God.
That was the one thing I didn't like, though. Like, Tebow's character was like, I don't know, like, supposed to be the adorable nerd that everyone loved but hated at the same time. And it's like, give the fucking kid a break. Like, he's practicing magic. I don't see you little shit summoning anything.
But they are. They all know magic.
What?
He was just the asshole. I don't know. I'm being an idiot. What matters is that that's true. I mean, again, they were all little shits. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, literally all of them were, like, and it was, I know in their heads, like, and the writers and for the characters, like, oh, it's a joke. I'm just like, yeah, but it seems pretty rough sometimes. It's just like, like, this thing is really hurting me on the inside. It really hurts. And it's just like, we're going to poke at it until you feel pain. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just that. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it ever was.
Well, because, oh, God, what was it? It was, when Wicket's trying to teach Tebow how to be a warrior because him and the other girl Ewok that no one likes they have a bet or whatever, and he's like, oh, I can't teach him to be a warrior. He's too much of a fuck up. Obviously not in those words, but that's what they were going for.
No, in those exact words.
And
again,
it's just like, I'm useless. I'll never be able to do it. And he just leaves. And, like, it's like 10 minutes late. Granted, he goes to help out, these other little creatures from the giant thing that dammed up the river. But it's like, they're like, oh, gee, I wonder where Tebow is. And, like, no one else, like, questioned it for a few seconds in the dialogue. And then it comes back up again. And it's like, oh, yeah, we should probably go look for him. I'm like, for all you know, he's fucking dead and floating down the river. It's like, I'm fucking friends you are.
It only mattered when Warwick was, like, nearly dead. Well, when Wicket.
Right.
But still, it only mattered
when
Wicket. Yeah.
And everybody wants to be Wicket.
And by the way, again, that too, like talking about like the 80s and everything, like, you know, it's just the idea of like, we're going to have to tell his mom that the son isn't coming home. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Could we just, Jesus. Like, settle the fuck down. Like, that's how it felt. You know, like, that's how it felt to me.
Oh,
where like,
yeah.
What?
No, because they were stuttering like, oh, he's die. He, you know, it's like, and they cut him off. It's like, oh, can't say died. It's like, nope, no, he, you know, can't say died. He's not dead.
I think clearly they didn't really bring on the psychologist they had for the fucking for the first three movies.
Let's consult our Star Wars psychologist.
No, yeah, I feel like, no, all jokes aside, I feel like it was just something that said you can't say the main, or they felt it would be too much to the main character is officially dead to the mom. Like, it's too fucking much. But saying, like, I'm going to kill you, somehow that got through it. I was like, all right.
I mean, because kids, I don't know, when I was a kid and I was with, like, my cousins, we would always scream, well, not scream that at each other, but we'd say that, and it was like,
oh, well, no,
you know,
I'm talking about television. I'm not talking about what kids can handle. I'm talking about television.
No, I know. Like, it's just like, it was something kids said, you know, it wasn't like, you know, you actually went after each other with like a kitchen knife or something. I'm sorry if anybody ever had that experience, but... Like, it was just an expression at that point.
I just imagine you just my cousin and I, we just played normally. It's like, we'll be the Empire and you'll be Ewoks. Ha! Hits you in the fucking face with a rock.
I mean, not too far off.
Literally just... No, I'm just imagining like your members of your family getting stilts and being AT-AT.
Yeah.
It's just like kicking them in the stilts. You know how to do that. I'm going to tell Mom. You're not going to tell them if you fucking have a concussion. Kick the fucking stilt harder. But, yeah, I just imagine the entire end of the sixth movie to just fucking, but like with children. Just all these children, like Ewoks and Empire. Ewoks and Empires. Oh, my fucking God. Yeah, so I don't know what to say about this because, again, the show got canceled. It never came back. And, strangely, the world just kept on fucking turning.
I know. How could the world survive with less Ewoks in it?
Yeah, or in a world that had Ewoks. Either one.
I mean, granted, I liked them in Return of the Jedi. I thought it was nice.
No, I meant the show.
Yeah, but as a whole series, it's like...
I'll say this much, though. If this show helped build up some of the careers of these writers, I think the show is worth it. If it helped build their careers. Like, if Paul Dini would have been able
some people got to go up and do bigger and better things after this.
Because I'm just saying, like, if for some reason him not doing this show meant that he didn't get to work with DC and do Batman the animated series, this show is a necessary evil.
Right.
That's all I'll say. Oh, and by the way, if you don't like him here, then maybe you didn't like him in Clone Wars because he did Clone Wars.
Matt, let's do Clone Wars like I've been telling you for the past year. Come on, everybody, send in those emails. I know you want it. I know you all want this.
First
you
off,
want this just as bad as I do.
Those guys in the radio at gmail.com. Second off, I never said I wouldn't do it. I said I'd do it after Ewoks. You're the one that's been dragging your feet on Ewoks. If you took your Ewok medicine early, we would have been mostly through.
Don't you turn this around on me. Don't you?
Yeah.
No. We don't have to do this, Matt. You were the one who said to me, no, I want to do continuity and go through, like, all the stuff that's come out. It's like, so we have to do the shit first and then get to the good stuff. I'm like, Matt, it's your show. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Why do you have to follow this asinine formula?
The reason why I'm throwing it on you is because you try to throw a fuck me at me, well, you get a double fuck you at you. That's all why. You get a fuck you.
We have fun here with those guys.
We really do. Furthermore, okay, you're probably forgetting how Ewoks were so relevant in the Clone Wars because they're Ewoks, so you've kind of just forgotten. You just put that aside. But the Ewoks are very relevant in Clone Wars. This is coming from a guy who's never seen it and who's never looked up any Wikipedia entries, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay? And then them being in Rebels, I mean, also something I've never seen nor know about. But you know what?
You hear that, everyone? You hear that?
Yeah, I feel shame. But
you should.
We're definitely going to do Clone Wars. We totally are. So don't worry about that, everyone. But right now we're just finishing up this podcast because, again, nothing else to say. We want to thank you all for listening in. I don't see anything you want to say, Tristan, about this at all.
No, I have plenty to say. I can't even finish that sentence. No, I guess just, reiterating what I said before, it's like, it's a good kid show. It's a good cartoon. I'm glad there are people who worked on this who got to do bigger and better things later on. And, if I was a kid at the time, I definitely would have wanted to see a third season after the second season, because, it was good. They did a good job with it. I'll give them that.
I would show this show to my kids, just season 2.
Yeah. Right.
Season 2, I would not show them. I would show them maybe like 3 episodes from season 1. And they won't know. And then when they grow up, they're like, Dad, why didn't you show me season 1? And I'll be like, here you go. And they'll watch it, and they'll hug me. They'll just hug me. And it's funny because what will happen is I'll give them a DVD or the VHS, whatever. I'll give them something to watch, season 1 on. And then out of nowhere one day, I don't know, maybe it's like, during like a college break or something. I don't know when it'll be, when they just, they're able to see me again, and they hug me. And they don't have to say anything because I'll know. It's because I spared them from the first season of Ewoks.
Yep.
And
you couldn't do it for me, though, could you, Matt? Could you?
No, you're not my kid. Therefore, you will experience the harshness of the world just as I have.
For I am your father. Yub yub, Commander. Oh God!
That can't be true. And the Force is made up of mitochondria. That's improbable. I love that one. That was a great scene. Yeah, just mitochlorians.
And tiny Ewoks will defeat the Empire. That's highly improbable.
But so thank you all for listening as always. I mentioned some fun stuff earlier on, like I mentioned our email. Why did I mention our email? Because you can email us, and you can basically say, hey, we like your shows, or hey, we don't like your shows. Whichever one, right? radio@gmail.com. Earlier, I may have mentioned some of our other stuff, like our TG Productions. That's what I mentioned earlier. Yes, we have a TG Productions YouTube channel. On our TG Productions YouTube channel, which is called TG Productions, so search that up. We have our TG News show, right, which is called TG News. It's nerd news with a fun twist that we'll be updating some more of that soon. We also have motivational movies that we'll be posting more every week. Basically, motivational movies is a series that involves Shia LaBeouf clips from his Just Do It rant put to public domain movies like Night of the Living Dead, Debbie Does Dallas, Sherlock Holmes, and some really fun ones that are coming up soon. So definitely check those out. They're really stupid in a really good way, in my opinion. Might be a little bit biased because I made them, but very, very stupid in a good way. So you can find those on our TG Productions YouTube channel. You can also look at our Those Guys in the Radio podcast, not just the ones on Blog Talk Radio that you're currently listening to us on, I would assume, but also through our iTunes by searching up Those Guys, on our YouTube channel by searching up Those Guys on the Radio, right? And that is how you can listen to all of our podcasts. You can also go through our social media links that I've mentioned countless times. You can find our main website, which is thoseguysonthenradio.tumblr.com, our Facebook, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, our Twitter, which is @ThoseGuysRadio, and our Instagram, which is also /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. Also, you can find our merchandise, lots of different merchandise based on our podcast and our Let's Plays on our main website, which is, again, thoseguysonthenradio.tumblr.com. But at the end, you put a / and you put in merchandise. You can buy our merchandise on there. We have all these different buy two, get one free specials, a lot of fun stuff like that. So same thing with our posters as well. You can also go on our eBay channel, which is Those Guys on the Radio, and you can also buy stuff through our eBay as well. Yes. So we also have our Patreon. Right, we have our Patreon. Wait, no, before our Patreon, we have our YouTube channel, Those Guys Play, that I mentioned a little bit before, right? But our YouTube channel, Those Guys Play, where Tristan and I have done a lot of fun stuff on there. We played Star Wars Battlefront. We've played Luigi's Mansion. We've played Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, which was a game you liked as a kid. We also played Disney's Dinosaur, a game that you did not like as a kid. And we played Red Steel, a game that we loved as teens. But we also played Pets Crazy Monkeys, a game that we've liked never. You and I have played, basically.
Which begs the question, why did you have us play it in the first place?
I just didn't know what was going to happen. Also, by the way, eBay is Those Guys Radio. But yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I thought, you know what? Why not? Right? I was like, let's see what the fuck's happening here. So anyway, yes, we were, So we have our Those Guys Play YouTube channel. We also have Matt Beats Games from His Childhood, a series that I'm doing where I am Matt beating games from my childhood, which is on our Those Guys Play channel. Currently beating Mega Man X, have some more in the pipeline that I'm recording right now. And, right, going back to our Patreon account, TG Productions, on our Patreon account, you could either suggest shows to us, right, depending on what tier. You can support us with anything. Any dollar helps, right? Anything you want to give helps us, live our dream and do our own thing, right? But depending on what tier you're supporting, you could either tell us what thing to podcast, tell us what video game to play, right? Or you can be a sponsor, so we can give you guys a shout-out on certain podcasts, on certain Let's Plays, or on certain episodes of TG News, right? We'll give you a nice little shout-out. Just fun stuff overall. This was Ewoks, and that is why I'm thrown off, because my mind is still saying, you're doing an Ewoks podcast right now. Hey.
Yes.
Hey, listen, you're doing an Ewoks podcast right now. Swear to God, that's fucking where Navi's from. Like, that's just her fucking home planet. The forest moon of Endor. Just all Navis, as far as the eye can see. They're annoying as shit.
What?
Just like the Ewoks. What?
What?
What? What?
I think it's time to say goodnight, Matt.
I thought it was going to be a lot of fun. You just made it awkward. Thanks for making it awkward. It could have been fun had you gone along. But then you said, I think we should end it, making it awkward. This could have been great. You ruined it. Thank you, Tristan. Everyone
and then the
Tristan.
Death Star came and blew up everything, everywhere.
The end. Season finale. The end. Series finale. And that's the end of our story. Good night, everybody. Say good night, Tristan. Say it.
Yub, Commander. Good night, everyone.